If you've been following Aptera for any length of time, then you've probably seen the outrage, the comments, the accusations, the endless chorus of people saying, "Why are they doing anything else? Just deliver the vehicle already." And honestly, I need to push back on that, hard, because the idea that Aptera is somehow wasting time, losing focus, or sabotaging itself by licensing its solar technology is not just wrong. It completely misunderstands how vehicle development, manufacturing, and survival in the auto industry actually work. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Nobody wants Aptera vehicles on the road more than the people building them. Not the customers, not the investors, not the commenters refreshing their pre-order status every week. The engineers, designers, and manufacturing teams have poured years of their lives into this thing. They know every bolt, every wire, every process step. If anyone is desperate to see these vehicles delivered, it's them. Yes, people are waiting. Yes, deposits are down. Yes, I'm one of those people waiting too. But pretending that the company itself is dragging its feet or getting distracted just doesn't line up with reality. What actually sparked this latest wave of backlash was the announcement that Aptera is licensing its solar technology to other companies. Suddenly, that decision got framed as a betrayal, a distraction, a waste of time, as if putting solar on other vehicles somehow steals time, energy, or resources away from delivering the Aptera itself. That argument completely falls apart the moment you understand one critical fact. The solar side of Aptera is already done. This isn't speculation. This isn't marketing fluff. This came straight from the source. When asked directly how much faster Aptera could get to market if they just removed the solar panels, the answer was simple and honest. It wouldn't meaningfully speed things up. Why? Because the solar panels are already production ready. The lamination process is complete. The panels are already being produced to production intent standards. They're built with strong, automotive-grade glass designed to survive real-world abuse. These aren't fragile concept parts. They've been physically tested, dropped, stressed, abused. Even in scenarios where individual cells might crack, the panel keeps generating energy. They were designed to be durable, repairable, and cost-effective from day one. So while people online are shouting that solar is the problem, the reality is that solar is one of the least problematic parts of the vehicle. What actually takes time, real time, are the things every vehicle manufacturer struggles with: chassis production, suspension tuning, powertrain integration, interior components, supplier contracts, logistics, tooling, and scaling manufacturing in a capital-efficient way. Aptera is a relatively small startup. That means they outsource a lot. And outsourcing means negotiations, timelines, shipping delays, iteration. None of that magically disappears just because people on the internet want a faster delivery date. Now here's where the licensing decision becomes not just reasonable, but genuinely smart. Aptera looked at something they had already solved, something already validated, something already valuable. And instead of letting it sit idle while waiting on other production bottlenecks, they asked a simple question: why not use this now? Licensing solar technology to other companies, whether it's lightweight trailers, specialty vehicles, or airport shuttle platforms, creates revenue. Real revenue. Revenue that helps the company move toward break-even faster, without burning massive amounts of capital. And this isn't just glass slapped on a roof. The real value is the intellectual property behind it, the wiring architecture, the ability to safely and efficiently take low-voltage solar input and trickle-charge higher-voltage systems, the integration logic, the durability solutions. That IP is extremely valuable. And it applies to far more than just one three-wheeled vehicle. This is how companies survive. This is how they avoid becoming cautionary tales. Because we've already seen what happens when startups do the opposite, when they obsess over rushing to market at all costs. Fisker, Lordstown. The results speak for themselves. Speed without readiness doesn't save companies, it kills them. Even experienced voices in manufacturing have been clear about this. Rushing production, blowing capital, and forcing deliveries before systems are ready has destroyed more automotive startups than slow timelines ever have. There is a real, uncomfortable truth here. Being capital efficient often means being slower, and that's not unique to Aptera. Legacy automakers miss timelines. Tesla missed timelines constantly. Rivian is a perfect example. They didn't ramp as fast as expected. They had to pause production, rework processes, simplify designs, and now they're tracking toward profitability. That's not an accident. That's what happens when a company chooses survivability over speed. Aptera's situation is even more interesting because their operating costs are dramatically lower. Smaller teams, more outsourcing, less burn. That means their break-even point doesn't require absurd production volumes. They don't need to sell millions of vehicles just to stay alive. They don't need to torch billions per quarter and hope for a bailout. Contrast that with companies that openly treated profitability as an afterthought, assuming someone else would save them later. That strategy hasn't aged well. Aptera, instead, is doing something rare. They're treating sustainability, not just environmental, but financial sustainability, as non-negotiable. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, it tests people's patience. And yes, I'm just as eager as anyone to finally take delivery. Extra commuting makes that desire even stronger. But bringing in revenue from finished, proven intellectual property while the rest of the vehicle ecosystem comes together is not a distraction. It's not incompetence. It's not betrayal. It's strategy. It's a small company keeping multiple irons in the fire without sacrificing its core mission. It's finding ways to add value to the market right now instead of waiting passively for everything else to align. And most importantly, it's choosing long-term survival over short-term appeasement. So when people say, "None of this matters, just deliver the vehicle," I can't help but push back, because history has shown us over and over again that mindset leads to rushed products, financial collapse, and companies that never make it to the second chapter. Aptera isn't perfect. Timelines slip, expectations change. That's reality in this industry. But licensing solar technology that's already ready, already tested, and already valuable is exactly the kind of move that should be applauded, not attacked. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just to see a vehicle roll off the line once. The goal is to see the companies still standing years from now, improving, iterating, and actually delivering on the vision people believed in from the start. If you disagree, that's fine. Reasonable people can disagree. But let's at least argue from reality, not impatience. And honestly, I'm curious, do you see this as a distraction or as a smart play? I'm sure the discussion will be lively either way.